DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin. DreAllDay.com still exists. Work on Your Game University exists. PowerPresenceProtocol.com now exists, for those of you who haven't heard me talk about that. But anyway, what I want to talk about here today is for all you salespeople, all you who are in any form of sales. What do I mean when I say sales? That means you are attempting to influence the behavior of other people through some form of communication. That's what I mean when I say sales. You don't have to actually have a job that says salesperson. You don't have to be part of a sales department. You just have to be in sales. And in case any of you can't read between the lines, everybody is in sales. You are either good at selling or you suck at selling, but nobody's not in sales. That's not a thing. Everybody's in sales. Most of the sale is made or lost before you start speaking, before you get into your script, before you start asking questions, before you try to discover or uncover the problem or whatever shit is that they taught you in your sales training classes. You have either made or lost a sale before you start talking. And let me explain to you why this is. 85% of communication is nonverbal. It is not things that you say. It's not even necessarily what you consciously do. It's your unconscious communication. There's an ambulance coming up right behind me. Human beings make decisions about people off what we call snap judgments. Any of you ever heard of a snap judgment? It's a quick decision that we make about something or someone without knowing all the details or even bothering to get all the details. And then what we do is we come up with justifications for our snap judgments even after we find out more information. Even if the information that we find out completely contradicts our snap judgment, we will continue believing what we wanted to believe just because most human beings don't have the humility to admit or the confidence to admit, okay, I was wrong about that. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a whole book on this. It's called Blink. If you haven't read the book, you can read it. And there are many others based on this. Robert Cialdini's books on influence and persuasion talk about these things as well. And the general point that I'm making here is because people make these quick snap decisions about others, we come across another person and within 10 seconds we've decided who they are. We've sized them up, we figure out what they're about and what they're not about. And from there, we decide if this person matters, if they don't matter, if they are a threat, if they are a friend, if they are a foe, if whatever they're going to say we're interested in, if whatever they're going to say we're not interested. And again, this is before we even know who they are, what they're doing, where they come from, their backstory, what they're dealing with, what they have going on in their lives. We don't care about any of that shit. We just make a decision that quickly, and then everything else becomes a multiplier. So those of you who are really good speakers, you have that gift of gab, or you have a great script that you memorized and you got it down to a science and you can recite it in your speech, understand that script matters. I'm not telling you that knowing what you're going to say is irrelevant. I do professional speaking, I do coaching, I do consulting, I write books, I'm making this video right here. What you say does matter. The actual words matter. So nobody misconstrue my point. And what you say does not matter nearly as much. What you say verbally doesn't matter nearly as much as what you have already said and what has already been picked up non-verbally by your subject, i.e. whoever you're about to talk to. So this applies when you're in sales. This applies when you're out at the mall and you see a girl or a guy you're interested in. The non-verbal conversation has already either sealed that deal 90% or destroyed the deal 90% before you talk. And then whatever you say, all it does is push the other person further in the direction of what they have already decided about you, even though you haven't said anything yet. Now, some of you may be listening to this and thinking, Dre, that is completely illogical. That doesn't make sense. Why would another person make a decision about somebody else without knowing all the information or having the details or knowing anything about them? They just make these assumptions about other people and just go off that. And my answer is yes, that's exactly what humans do. And guess what? You are human. So I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about you. You do the exact same thing to other people that they do to you. Well, what does all this mean and what can you do about it? I just told you in the first 10 seconds, people make a decision about you. 85% of communication, everybody, is nonverbal communication. This has always been true. And that will continue to be true is going to become even more true in the world that we live in, because fewer and fewer people are taking the time to think and assess anything these days. People are just making snap decisions about stuff because people don't want to take the time to think about and figure out, like, what exactly am I taking in here? What exactly is this that I'm what am I assessing? Does this make sense? Let me think about this. And think doesn't mean I need 10 days. Think means maybe take 30 seconds and figure out what exactly are you looking at before you make a decision. Most human beings don't operate that way. We think quick and then we come up with justifications. So you need to master that first 10 seconds. That's it. Knowing that the first 10 seconds of communication are where the deal was made or lost, you need to get good at that first 10 seconds. Now, understand, the first 10 seconds is not talking. First 10 seconds is just your behavior. How do you master the first 10 seconds? This is all body language, eye contact, energy, aura. Now, here's the thing that you got to get, and this is what a lot of people don't get. A lot of people think this first 10 seconds is some form of performance. Let me carry myself a certain way, walk a certain way, put my shoulders back, my chest out, my eyes up, walk at a certain pace, hold my hands a certain way, do those things. Are those things part of it? Yes, but this is not a performance. And most importantly, it shouldn't even be something that you're thinking about. If you have to think about doing these things, you're performing. See, if you're thinking about what you're doing, you're performing. And performance is not presence. Presence is your energy, your aura, your nonverbal communication, all the stuff that you've done before that person sees you. All of that coalesces into one signal that we call presence. And when you have presence, you don't have to think about how you're showing up to other people. You just do it naturally because it's naturally who you are. It's not what you do, it's who you are. Those are two different things. If you find yourself thinking about, let me hold my body a certain way or have a certain posture, etc., you're performing, you're off. You're missing the whole point of the game. Instead, what you want to be doing is doing the quiet work, building up your discipline, building up your confidence so that confidence becomes part of your being, not part of your doing. Understanding stillness, understanding groundedness, understanding calibration. When you understand all of these things and you carry yourself in a way to where you have a fingertip feel, you can read other people, you can read the room. You ever heard that saying, read the room? Your ability to read the room is based in simple awareness. Everybody has some level of awareness. Different people have different levels, however. And the reason why many people's awareness is off is because you are so aware and focused on yourself because you haven't done the work beforehand on yourself to where you don't need to think about yourself. When you get into an engagement with another person and you're thinking about how you are being received, that's a problem. The reason why it's a problem is because you shouldn't have to think about how you're being received, because if you did the work ahead of time, that would already be taken care of. There's nothing to consider. I already took care of myself. I don't have to think about how other people are taking me in because I've already done the work. Nothing to consider. When I stand in front of an audience or I'm talking to other people in person, on a Zoom call, in a UPS store, whatever, I'm not worried about how they're perceiving me. I am looking at them and I'm perceiving them. I'm completely aware and focused on the other people that I'm dealing with. And why is this? The reason I'm able to do this is because the work that I need to do on me has already been done. I'm not doing that work in the moment when I'm talking to another person. That work's already been done. So since I can put 0% attention on myself and 100% on the other person, my awareness is a lot higher. That's why I have the ability to, as we say, read the room. And the room can be one person. The room doesn't have to be 100 people. It can be one person. The better you read the room, the better you can calibrate your communication to the audience such that you get your point across in a way that you are more influential to them, i.e. moving them to take the action that either you want them to take or that they need to take, but they need somebody to help them take it, which is what a salesperson is actually doing. Essentially, that's the job of a salesperson. Help people do what they know they need to do, but they're not doing. All of you who are in sales, if you want to get better at closing deals, raising your prices, getting people to cooperate with you, listen to you, do whatever it is you're trying to move them to do, or that you are enrolled in moving them to do that they need to do for themselves, you don't need to get better at reading your script. You don't need to find a better script. You don't need a better product. You don't even need better prospects. What you need is better presence. You need a stronger, not even a better presence. That's not really the right way to say it. You need a stronger presence that makes a stronger impression on other people such that you are more aware of them they pick up on your unconscious signals more strongly. And because they're picking up on your unconscious signals, you know what they do? They follow your lead. They do what you're asking them to do. They take the action that you want them to take. And that's when things start working out for you the way you want things to work out. That's the way it works. But if you haven't done the quiet work, you haven't done the behind the scenes work, you haven't done the work on yourself, then your presence is weak. And therefore you find yourself compensating for your lack of presence with the conscious things. How do I dress? How do I walk? How do I hold my hands? Where's my eye contact going to be like? How loud should I talk? What's my script going to say? All of that is play nonsense. The 15% of communication that most amateurs focus on. And you can have that stuff down to a science and still fail. Because it only makes up 15%. It's like when you're in college and the professor gives out the syllabus, they tell you 85% of the grade is just coming to class. And you're only coming to half the classes. But then you ace all the tests. Well, the problem is you're still going to fail the class because 85% of the grade was coming to class. You didn't come to class. You failed the most important aspect of the game. So for all of you, you want to get better at influencing. What you need to do is work on the 85%. That is a nonverbal communication. The way that communication comes off is not that you're thinking about it, is that the work has already been done. This is completely subconscious. The way you program the subconscious is through immersion, emotionalization, and repetition. That is the work that you do behind the scenes. I have a mastermind on this whole thing. I call it the Power Presence Mastermind, where I coach people and teach people how to do this. Clearly, I think you can understand and I understand the process. I just explained it to you. I understand how this works. I've been living it and talking about this and teaching this stuff going back. I'm recording this in 2025, late 2025. So I've been doing this going back basically 20 years. So I know what I'm talking about. I know how this works. I know how to explain it. And I know how to help other people use it. So if you want to be next, go to the link in the description or the link in my profile, wherever you're watching this. Get into the Power Presence Protocol. It's powerpresenceprotocol.com/mastermind. Or just text me the word mastermind to the number 305-384-6894. I will get your text. I'll respond to you directly. And I'll talk to you about how we can get you in the mastermind. You can have me as your direct coach and we can get to work on making this stuff work for you in your real life. Not in theory, in real life. This is not theory that I'm teaching. This is real life stuff that I actually do and I'm qualified to teach. And I will help you the same way I've helped thousands of others over the years, from the basketball court to the business room to the boardroom, to the business world to the boardroom, and everywhere in between. If you're next, click the link in my profile or just text the word mastermind to my number. Work on your game.